Mike King, the partnership guru, daily at 1 p.m. on WJFN 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and 820 AM, as he delivers game changers in Metro RVA. On the Mic with Mike showcases how business can help make society better. He discusses tech, culture, innovation, best business practices, and highlighting area nonprofits. Join Mike at 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, because it is the place where the best and brightest come to chat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier daily social enterprise business show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King, and I appreciate you being here with me. The views expressed here are mine, have no connection to, support of, or agreement with any other host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work at the station. I'm just appreciative that my show airs here on a daily basis. And folks, that was a senior moment right there, where I just I drifted away for a second. So join me as this cutting-edge show uplifts the community, showcases RVA in a different way. The sounds you're listening to are emanating from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. Joining us today, as always, is the man on the wheels of steel, Al Green, and we can be reached by calling 804-778-8888. On the Mic with Mike highlights partnerships, people, social enterprise business, organizations, as well as issues of the day. To get more information about the show, please go to On the Mic with Mike. It is on Facebook, and you can see past episodes and all the cool things that we're doing and guests that we have. We'd like to thank our show sponsor, Tom Childry, the credit card guy. If you have credit card merchant services, Tom Childry is the guy who can handle it for you. He is a master at that, streamlining processes, increasing efficiencies, and helping you save money with it. 804-503-8472. He also does a lot of cool things in the community. So Tom Childry, the credit card guy. Along the way, we have to pay some bills around here, so please take a listen to our advertisers and sponsors. They help us stay on the air, and my grandkids need stuff, so we appreciate that. Today's show, folks, is a great one. We always have great shows. Oh, by the way, here's a news bulletin. I was going to cue up some music, so we just like to say, it is a great day. There was a debate last night. The debate was entertaining. We're not going to talk about anything outside of topic and substance. So stay involved in the process. We hear that there is a breakthrough on the way as far as COVID goes. According to some folks, that there is a cure. I guess there's just two drawbacks with that. One, you have to have $100,000. And the second one, you have to be the president of the United States. It's a sad day, but we're going to plow through it here because we are a business show. But our prayers go out to all who've lost someone who are affected by the pandemic. And let's not get sidetracked by the foolishness. Today's show, folks, it is a great one. It's sort of a cultural show here today. We have a good friend of the program, Savannah Ball. She's known as Savannah Ball Art. She's a local artist here who's breaking into the industry. She's going to give us all the backstory on how to do that. And she's a friend of the program. She knew me before I was Mike King Biz. So we are going to talk about that, and she's doing some really cool things. After that, at the bottom of the hour, we have Nick Davis, the man. One of the cool parts about having this show is I see things, and then I reach out and say, hey, would you like to be on the program? Sidekickrva is something that's an outstanding project, and we're going to talk about that with Nick. Those two have a connection to it. It's funny, I tell people I'm a matchmaker, but we have a real matchmaker. Blue Matchmaking is on Fridays, so Paula Pardell with Modern Love. Without further ado, we have Savannah Ball. Savannah, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Mike.
Okay, can you get a little closer? All righty. There we go. All righty. So tell us the Savannah Ball story. Were you always the creative one? Was it always painting and art, or were you just the kid who loved art?
I think early on I was really a crafter.
Okay.
So I had the paint by numbers. I had anything that had to do with watercolor painting, but I wouldn't say that I was really focused on doing that full time. That wasn't my dream. It wasn't until I was in middle school that I actually moved here to Richmond from Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. And I met one of my best friends at the time, and she dared me to start taking art more seriously. And me being extremely competitive, just looked at her and said, all right, I'll try it. Let me see. So I ended up teaching myself art in middle school through high school. I just went to the library, grabbed a bunch of books, and just started learning and drawing and tracing and figuring out as much as I could about it.
So let me ask you, so you see the ones where a person says, draw the animal.
Yes.
Does that help?
No.
Okay, thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why you listen to this program. That does not work. I always was skeptical.
Tracing paper over pictures is how I learned. Because I learned about shapes and things like that. The step-by-steps for me is like, okay, first step, draw a few circles. Step 2, connect those circles. And then step 4 was a completely finished drawing. And you're like, how do you get from draw some lines to the horse is completely done? And that was always challenging for me. But
so at what point did you think that, wow, I got kind of good at this?
It wasn't until I went to John Tyler. I did my fine arts certificate at John Tyler Community College, because since I wasn't taught in school, I was all self-taught. I was like, I don't know if I'm good. I don't know if this is something that I could do. Let me just take a few college courses and see if I can keep up.
Okay, so now you go to John Tyler, you're there, and there are other people there, I guess, who are really into it. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you start stacking yourself against them. Mm-hmm. What did you see?
I actually saw that I was doing pretty good.
You're like, hey, I'm okay with this.
No, and then what I loved about college was having a professor to ask questions to. So when they said, oh, my office is open, I was there. And I was like, all right, how do I do this? What is this technique like? Teach me. Like, I wanted to be a sponge. And I think that was something that I saw a difference. I think I really enjoyed getting to know my professors.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Savannah Ball here, the local artist. If you have any questions, you can give her a call, 778-8888. The program is On the Mic with Mike. We're the best game in town. That's it, hands down. So now, I show up on the doorstep of Crossroads Art Center. Shout out to our friend Jenny Kirby. And you're there.
Yes.
Talk about how you get from John Tyler to Crossroads Art Center, and then you told me how you can make it work, that you show up and people take notice. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about that oomph that makes things happen.
Yes. So when I finished at John Tyler, I just applied to VCU because I was like, hey, I'm in town. Let me see if I can make it. And I made it in. And I was like, all right, let me try this program. Let me apply. And then I made it in. And so it's just, I kept saying, all right, let me just try.
Doors kept opening.
Exactly.
But you were knocking on doors.
Exactly.
So the doors weren't just popping open.
No, and the people that I met were just so encouraging. If you had a question as like a young person of like, I just want to see what I've got. I had so many people like, thank you for asking, here's what I want to do. And getting that is, once I got out of school, I worked at a small museum for a few years, the Branch Museum of Architecture and Design, and then I transferred and knocked on Jenny's doorstep through working there as being the programs manager.
Okay, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have a call on the line. Hello, you're on the mic with Mike and Savannah Ball. Hello.
Well, hello, Mike and Savannah. It's Jenny.
Well, hello, Jenny.
Boy, now this is a coincidence. Jenny Kirby calling. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jenny Kirby owns the award-winning Coolest Art Gallery in town. Mm-hmm. I had met Savannah. Savannah's kind of like the person whenever I would knock on Jenny's door and say, hey, can you help me? Savannah was the person who made things happen. So, Jenny, welcome. I just want you to say a few words to Savannah here.
We miss Savannah greatly, but we are very proud that she has taken the leap to become a full-time artist. And I look forward to see what she does with that and how she creates and becomes that artist she wants to be.
Aw, you're the best. It was wonderful. I showed up to Jenny and I said, I need a part-time job. Can you help me? And she said, yes. And then I said, hey, do you have a full-time job? Because I would need that too. And she just, we hit it off right off the bat.
Well, she does seem like the kind of person who comes through. So, Jenny, just like to thank you for calling. Safe travels. I know you're out there making it happen.
Well, thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to watch the interview once I get to a place that I can do that.
Hey, she even brought, it's funny because, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Jenny Kirby's on the phone here, Savannah Ball. She met a connection here that she knew walking into the studio. Who knows who's going to show up On the Mic with Mike?
Exactly.
That's right. You never know who's going to turn up to
Exactly.
be on the mic with Mike.
Especially after you lend a little class to it. You said I need to class up to show a little bit. All righty.
Oh, just with humor.
Well, that's true. Jenny, thanks for taking the time to give us a call. We will talk to you.
Bye. Safe travels.
Have a good one. All right.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jenny Kirby. So, Savannah, for folks who are looking on Facebook, and you can see us on Facebook at On the Mic with Mike RVA, Savannah brought some art here. She brought a piece of art. Explain to our viewers what people are looking at.
Yes, so I have, over the past few years, developed a style of abstract landscape painting. And so what I do is I kind of start with an original reference photo, and then I do several small versions of this, and I segment it out, kind of like stained glass, where you figure out, all right, what panels do I want to create, and what colors do I want to emphasize. And I really look at that photo and I say, what do I want to capture here? And this was actually one of my good friends who's also an artist at Crossroads Art Center, Mike Keeling.
Mike is crazy.
He is, but
yes,
he's my friend. And
he does some really great artwork. Photography.
He's incredible. He's a painter as well as a photographer.
His work is, shout out to Mike. He's a great guy.
You should check him out. He's a little crazy, but
he is a little crazy. Yes, he is enjoyable. But his artwork, and when he took me to his studio, that's like a wow moment.
Exactly.
There's he's like the mad professor.
And he paints big.
He does.
He's always painted large.
And his photography. Oh, shout out to Mike. Okay, we're going to get back to Savannah stuff.
So
we're going to get carried away
here. He actually photographed this, and he was at the Richmond airport early sunrise, and he had snapped a photo and shared it on Facebook. And he's always, reaching out to me and helping me in so many other areas. And I said, hey, can I borrow this photo and just paint from it? And he said, absolutely. So this was actually inspired by the Richmond Airport sunrise at like 4 a.m. in the morning. And I'm not going to be up that early anyway. And so collaborating with him to create this piece was just wonderful.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is the program On the Mic with Mike. We're here to help you get some culture as well. I just seem smarter when I'm just sitting here looking at the picture. Just kind of admiring that. So what's the creative process for you in general? How do you come up with the artwork?
Yeah, so I have a pretty regimented creative process that I've developed. So I originally start by making something we call thumbnail sketches, which are like 2 or 3 inches big, really small in pen on my sketchbook. And then what I'll do with that is I'll go over with colored pencil and pick out my 4 main colors I really want to highlight from the original image. So that's sky, base, are there some sun streams that I really want? And I'm trying to figure out, what is the least I can show to really emphasize the original photo's inspiration? But how do I really make this about color, about light, and about texture? So
from a real technical person like me, who's really cultured, that seems like the sky right here.
Exactly.
Okay. So what do we have? Is that the ground?
Mm-hmm.
See, ladies
You're
and gentlemen.
getting it. See?
There you go.
Cultured.
You can teach an old dog new tricks. So that is, okay, so now this is a business show. Okay, so now you got to put the businesswoman hat on.
Very good.
How do you go about pricing?
Pricing.
Yes.
It's different per artist. So every artist has their own kind of system. But I always recommend having a system in place for pricing. So you'll see some artists price based of, emotional value, or some price by hours that they spend on a painting. I take a really, really long time to paint. And so that's just not, in my mind, that's not fair for me to price for the hours I spend.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of layers. I have a lot of drying time in between. So what I do is I actually price per square inch. So say for me, an 18 by 24 canvas is normally $500 as of right now. If I get it framed, I'm going to include the cost of the frame to that. I'm very upfront about my pricing just because that's how I want to.
Right, so there's no question on the back end.
Exactly.
So there's no sticker shock.
But then what happens is over the years you get more awards, you get you're selling more work at that price point, you can kind of give yourself a raise on a yearly basis. If you've been awarded some great recognition from the art world, you've been accepted into some more juried shows, things like that, and then you can start increasing your value.
Okay, so you know I hang out at Crossroads a lot, and what does juried mean?
Juried means, a juried show is when there is an outside source or outside judge that we invite. So someone who is involved in the art world in Richmond, and they're very knowledgeable, and they want to create an exhibition. So at Crossroads we have, the bi-monthly shows.
Right, okay.
And there's a different juror every time for those shows.
So is there, when it's juried, it's one person?
Normally one person, and then Jenny gets involved on the second half of it because she sets the show. So what's going to look good together, things like that.
So there have been times over at Crossroads, I've seen you guys taking down walls and putting things up. And so then the show is set up when, at that bi-monthly event, the contest part had taken place already.
Yep.
And we know who the winner is and all those things. And that's the person that's juried.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, see, you never know what you're going to get when you come into On the Mic with Mike. That's the business side of it. The time is 1:23. We got to go away and take care of some bills right now. We will talk to you on the other side with Savannah Ball. We had Nick Davis of Sidekicks RVA, who's on the way after the break at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy with Beyond. I believe it should not be confusing or expensive for your business to accept credit cards. As a social enterprise business advocate, my mission gets you paid faster with fair rates, helping your business grow. We can be contacted at area code 804-503-8472, 804-503-8472, or at getbeyond.com. Again, I'm Tom Childry, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. We make it easier than you expect.
Hi everyone, it's Pavi Leitner, the CEO and founder of Finlit, and your family's certified financial educator, dedicated to the financial success of you and your family. Are you not sure where to start with your finances? Or are you looking to sign your middle schooler up for our virtual camp? Book us at www.finlitva.com. That is www.finlitva.com. Finlit is creating a money-conscious community.
Chris Ship here with Focus Floors, and we are offering a free upgrade in any Bona water-based poly for any job that gets put on our schedule. You can reach us at focushardwoodflooring.com, or just check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Facebook, Focus Floors 804, Instagram 80floors. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Catrice Roots, CEO of Catrice Roots Productions. Are you looking for a videographer to film advertisements for your business, weddings, special events, and many other activities? Then I am the person you want to contact. Contact me by my email at catricerootsproductions@gmail.com. Also visit my website at catricerootsproductions.com. Also feel free to follow me on Instagram at Catrice Roots.
Mike King isn't a businessman, he's a businessman with his own talk show, On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is a premier business show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King. We're here daily with you on WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. Riding Shotgun today is Savannah Ball. She's here talking about her artwork. See, there she is on Instagram. Shout out to the folks on Instagram.
What's up?
I'd just like to say thanks for tuning in. Savannah, let people know how they can find you. We need to help you go ahead and get your word out.
Yes, so you can find me on Instagram at Savannah Ball Art. You can find my website, savannahballart.com, or you can find me in person, my artwork at Crossroads Art Center.
Shocking.
I know.
You went from knocking on the door to saying, I need a gig, to having your artwork hanging at the coolest guy. Okay.
And you can also buy my art online on Crossroads website as well.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the hustle game. You said
yes.
A lot of doors have opened because you weren't playing around. You were going to make things happen. Talk to our listeners about how to make dreams come true for themselves. About, I need a job, well, part-time, but if you got something full-time, I'll take that, and next thing you know, your artwork is hanging.
Yep.
And you're in a pretty cool, you took the space that was with the liquor bottles,
I'm one over.
Oh, you're one over?
Yes.
So,
I know which one you're talking about, though.
That's the
I'm
one
one over.
Okay, so then you're in that same, I thought that was, okay.
Yep, I'm on that aisle.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, talk a little bit about how you make dreams happen.
For me, I've always run by the philosophy as if someone's ahead of you, you can always ask them for advice. And I've lived my life with that. So when I was in school, the professors were there. They've been doing this longer than I have. They have knowledge, they have insight, and I would be remiss to not even just sit down and ask them and learn from them. Every job I've ever been in, when I was at the museum outside of school, I was like, I'm going to learn about partnerships and collaboration. And then working with Jenny at the Crossroads Art Center last 3 years, I was just a sponge, because you're in the inner workings of everything about art and the gallery side of things and the business side of things. And I just went to her one day and I said, I want to know how this works. Teach me the business side of things. And she taught me the accounting side. She taught me, here's the people you should talk to. And I've learned if you just ask, people a lot of the times are willing to answer, and they want to help you. And so I think that is something you really should take advantage of, is the goodwill of people.
You're also, we got about a minute to go, you're also a master at the social media game, too.
I wouldn't say a master, but I know some stuff.
You know some stuff. So give people a couple points of advice on how to up their social media game.
Yes. With art, it's all about the story. You know the story behind what you've made, but someone who's just stumbling across your social media page doesn't know why you create the things that you do. So using your platform to really shoot a detail, for me, texture is tactile. I love it. So I'm going to show you, this is my favorite medium to use. Or here's the story of why I always do waterscapes. My father's a surfer. I grew up on the beach. Water is life. And you teach people, this is the value of what I make and why it matters to me. And people buy stories. They really do. They want to get behind of owning something that you made means they have a piece of you. But you have to show them how, and you have to show them why.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Savannah Ball, really quickly, how can people get to you again?
Again, you can find me on Instagram at Savannah Ball Art, on Facebook at Savannah Ball Art, or online at savannahballart.com, or go to Crossroads Art Center and go see my artwork in person.
That's right. It's hanging there, folks. You will enjoy it. Savannah Ball, we'd like to thank you for coming in. On the other side, we have Nick Davis. We'd like to say thank you for tuning in to On the Mic with Mike. We will see you on the other side.
Thanks, you, Mike.
Now. Take care.
There's a news star in Virginia, thevirginiastar.com. Finally, there's a newspaper in Virginia that delivers the unfiltered truth on politics and information you need to know.
I love it. It's about time.
Man, it's great. I read it every morning.
Thevirginiastar.com. Unbiased. No slant, just facts. TheVirginiaStar.com. It's not the mainstream media, it's the truth stream media. So if you're tired of fake news, get real news now. TheVirginiaStar.com.
Attention, Virginia Patriots. Do you want to help save America this November? Join our team. American Majority Action is a national conservative organization that mobilizes citizens to get involved in the political process. We are looking for patriots to join our paid team of door-to-door canvassers now through November 3rd. Save Virginia, save America. It's now or never. Contact us at www.am-action.org/Virginia or liz@am-action.org.
Happy Thursday, I'm Kiara Johnson with your WJFN 100.5 FM weather report brought to you by Dominion Energy. Richmond, plenty of sunshine today, high near 75 for your tonight. A few clouds, low around 50. Charlottesville, abundant sunshine, high 76. Tonight, a few passing clouds, low 47. Fredericksburg, sunny, highs to 73. For your tonight, low 46, clear to partly cloudy. This has been your weather report. Enjoy your Thursday. Kiara Johnson, WJFN 100.5 FM.
Folks, this is the most important election of our time. America itself is on the ballot. The police are on the ballot as radicals push to defund law enforcement while doing nothing to deter the looting and violence tearing apart our nation's cities. The fact is, our safety is on the ballot too, and our way of life. That's why I'm urging you to join an effort sponsored by the Job Creators Network. They're working with the biggest conservative host in America, like me. This election is about one thing: turnout. The left has their get out the vote machine now. We need ours. That's why the single most important thing you can do to save our country is go to keepamericaamerica.com. That's keepamericaamerica.com and become a volunteer in the biggest get out the vote effort in history. You'll be given tasks that can make a difference in November. Do a little, do a lot, but please do your part. Go to keepamericaamerica.com now. That's keepamericaamerica.com.
Welcome to the SBA Weekly Business Tip. I am Martin Short with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Virginia Richmond District Office. There are primarily 4 ways to fund your business. One way is through investors. Investors can provide funding to start your business in the form of venture capital. Venture capital is normally offered in exchange for an ownership share and an active role in the company. Be prepared to give us some control and ownership in exchange for funding. To learn more, visit us at sba.gov/VA. We're here to help you start, grow, expand, or recover.
Start, grow, expand, or recover.
Does your home need a makeover?
Would you like to capture
If so, refresh with quality with LA Labor and Painting, LLC. They make your home sparkle and be the envy of the community. They are masters at interior and exterior painting, drywall. They clean decks. They landscape and remove items you wish were gone. The bottom line is, they refresh with quality, provide professional service, and follow all guidelines regarding COVID-19. Call today to make your home sparkle. You can reach LA Labor by calling 804-972-8014. Call today for the On the Mic with Mike discount. When you mention the program, you'll receive 20% off of the beautification of your most prized possession. Call LA Labor and Painting today at 804-972-8014.
Thank you, attorneys Justin Lauder and Chris Gatewood at Threshold Counsel PC for sponsoring this program. They offer startup, business, and intellectual property services for innovative and growing organizations. You can find them online at threshold.cc.
Are you tired of dating online? Bloom Matchmaking offers a safe and effective alternative. Every match is vetted and background checked. Bloom Matchmaking offers a personalized experience just for you. Check us out at bloommatchmaking.com or give us a call at 804-205-5063. Let Bloom take the stress out of dating. Mention On the Mic with Mike and receive 20% off. That number again is 804-205-5063. Bloom Matchmaking, where love grows.
Mike with Mike from Michael Mike's. From the Michael Mike's. Michael Mike's. My name is Isabella and you're listening to My King Biz. Hubby, that's my scam.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is the premier daily social and business enterprise show in the Richmond area. I'm your host, Mike King. Glad to have you riding along with us today. As I say, we do bring the best and the brightest. We'd like to thank Savannah Ball for coming in. Make sure you check out our artwork. Up next on the microphone is the man. I run it. One of the cool things about having a radio show is I find things that are out there. I see what people are doing. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I hit them up and say, hey, would you like to come on the mic with Mike? I ran across a movement that I thought was outstanding. It's called Sidekickrva. The man coming to the microphone, Nick Davis, is here to tell us all about that. Nick, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, so COVID hit. You're rolling along. Next thing I know, I see something called Sidekickrva. Please let our listeners know what that is, and then we'll dive into a little bit more.
Absolutely. So Sidekick is a team of business entrepreneurs, CEOs, business owners, people who work in HR, people who work in PR, group of professionals that wanted to lend a hand to help people bounce back that have lost their jobs.
But they didn't just want to lend a hand. This all didn't happen because of divine intervention. There's something that you did.
I asked people to help.
Okay, so tell your story, how you got to the point where you see a problem and you're like, hey, I got to make a difference.
Yeah. So March 12th, I was on a job. I'm a career photographer, and I get an email followed by a phone call simply stating that the next job I had was canceled. And that made sense because it was an outdoor running company, and when I run, I cough a lot because I'm not in very good shape, and that didn't seem, obviously in that situation, COVID, people running,
this is
not
something
great.
that happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever, on to the next job, and then that one was canceled, and then the next one, and then the next one, and so I was in a place where I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do, but my wife's a nurse practitioner, so I knew that we were fine on the work side of things. But I just started thinking about all of the people who aren't fine, who don't have a spouse that has a solid income and can help pay all the bills. Because my income essentially evaporated. It just went completely gone because I photographed people, and people stuff stopped, right? So, and so I had this idea. I was like, man, maybe I could do something. What can I do? I'm a photographer. I could take free headshots for people who've lost their job. And I realized that maybe that wasn't going to be that impactful because headshots can only do so much for your profile. It's not going to actually help you land your next job. And I started thinking about things that I would need if I had lost my job. Well, I'd want to review my resume. If I think about what my resume looked like before I started my own business, my resume was a list of places that I punched in and out. It didn't speak to my experiences or my competencies or my gifts as Nick Davis. It was just, I worked here, I worked here, I worked here. Can I please have a job? That was essentially my resume. And I assumed that a lot of people younger, that's what their resumes probably look like too. But I have been in the photography business doing corporate and commercial work for so long that I built relationships that I figured I could probably find a handful of people that would offer to do free resume review. And then I picked up the phone, called my buddy Paul, kind of pitched him on the idea, hoping that he would be one of my volunteers to do resume review. Paul Spicer runs
Shout out to Paul, Grid Magazine.
Grid Magazine, great guy, great friend. And Paul said, I think it's an excellent idea. Let's see if we can get some coaches. And so I said, I know, that's where I'm at too. So then I went to my laptop, typed out an email simply just stating, hey, I'm trying to put together a small team of people to 6 people. They all came back and said yes, which is surprising. And then I realized that I had to do something. And so I picked the phone back up again. I called Paul and I said, Paul, they all said yes. We've got a team. What are we going to call it? We had a conversation, decided to call it Sidekickrva. And then I went to LinkedIn and I wrote something like, COVID's been really, really difficult for many people in business. My business is pretty much gone, as I just said to you. I decided to put together a small team of people. These are the things we're going to offer. Mentoring, resume review, headshots. Push enter, and that post for me and my LinkedIn typical engagement went viral. I had over like several thousand engagement, and I just started getting more people that found out about it, wanted to lend a hand, wanted to help. And I realized that there were a ton of people in our community that wanted to do something because they just felt like they couldn't do anything. Because none of us has ever been in this situation where we've had to go through a pandemic. None of us know how to respond or what to do. And they just needed a lane at which to provide the help that they wanted to give. And Sidekick became that for them.
So when you reached out to Paul, and Paul kind of knows a ton of people, so
sure.
Clearly you guys have no the cream of the crop as far as people to make things happen in Richmond. So you're saying when you normally put things out there, you get somewhat of engagement. But for some reason, when you put this out there, you get a big return.
I got a big return on this initial post that was sharing just the very simple vision of what I had for Sidekick in that moment. And I was just really honest. And, typically anytime I'm writing, there's a photo attached to the writing. This is one of the times where it was just text. There was no photo, no fluff, no nothing. It was just, this is really, really challenging. And this is my response.
So as a photographer, you're going along and the business is there, you're rolling. Mm-hmm. One job goes away, you're like, okay, that's one. Yeah, and next thing you know, the dominoes start to fall.
Yeah.
Talk about what Richmond felt like then as opposed to what Richmond feels like now. Like, what's your view of it now? Do you see the city coming back? And, just give us your feel of that.
I think that Richmond is going to come back. I think I have plenty of friends that go out to restaurants and eat and drink and kind of have resumed life as normal with a mask. They're taking precautions and they're taking it seriously, but they are kind of inching back towards that. I don't think anyone's running back saying like COVID's not real, let's just go back to life as it was. But I also have plenty of friends who their family is, the immune system is compromised, or they have people that they care for that are older, and they're not doing anything. Like, they're still on lockdown, right? So I think it's going to be a while before those people feel comfortable, but I do feel like Richmond is going to come back, and I think it wants to. I think people want things to get kind of back to normal as best it can.
They do. So now this is a business show, and so you said ladies and gentlemen, we have Nick Davis of Sidekick RVA here, an outstanding movement that he put together with you got some rock star talent rolling with you.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the people, now, shout out to the folks who've been on the program. Michael Perron is on there. I see Todd Waldo, Shannon Soriano Greenwood. Mm-hmm. These people are lending expert-level advice and help to people who are in need during a pandemic. Yep. So people are coming together. What makes Richmond a place where the creators and folks come together to help?
There's a popular saying that the rising tide raises all boats, and I think that that's not true in maybe every circle, but I do feel like Richmond cares about itself, and it wants to lift another up, and it wants to support one another. Because, like I said, the hardest part of this should have been trying to gather the people to help.
That was the easy part.
That was the easy part.
Now, how do people get into the mix to get the help that you guys offer?
So you can find us simply just at sidekickrva.com. I wanted sidekick.com because I didn't want anyone to feel like if they weren't in Richmond that they couldn't get help. This is for anybody, anywhere. So sidekickrva.com. You simply drop into the thing that you want help with, whether it's a headshot, a resume review, or coaching. And then I encourage people to spend some time on the site, read some of the bios. These are written by these coaches. And if you see something from a professional aspiration that you want to grab onto, like Savannah said earlier, if they're a step in front of you, reach out to them because they are offering this. They want to help you get to that next step. They want to help you succeed. They don't want to help you find a job. They want to help you discover kind of what's inside and what that career could look like for you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to speak to Nick about Sidekick, or if you're in need of some help and services, please go to that Sidekick RVA. So you're a dad. You had said you live in a city.
Yeah.
Okay. How old are your kids?
4 and 9 months.
Okay, so the 4-year-old, neither one realized what life was before.
My daughter did.
She does?
Yeah.
Okay, so she remembers not having to wear a mask and can go any and everywhere.
Yeah.
What do you tell a 4-year-old about what's going on in the world?
Well, so my wife's a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
And so the daycare she goes to is at the hospital. And so the daycare teachers talk about it. Like the kids ask the teachers, why are you wearing a mask? And then they say, because of COVID. And so she understands that that's being sick. She doesn't understand that, like, you could die from it, obviously. But she's very aware of it. And she understands that she can't see grandma and papa because they're old. And she is in a place where she is more likely to be exposed than somewhere else if she was staying home.
That is, for folks listening, that's the dilemma for me and my wife right there. Grandkids are out doing things. We're older, and all of a sudden, it really puts you in a tough spot. So when we talk about whether people are wearing masks or what COVID has done, it's done to the economy, but it also has really affected families. And whether we'll be able to go back to what it was before, who knows? When people say the new normal, whether that's business, whether that's life and relationships, we took for granted always being around people before, and now we can't. I used to pack the studio we had the Fillmore Duo come in. I had the Richmond Children's Business Fair. The studio we were in was a lot smaller. We were packed in there like sardines and just having a great time. Now you can't do that because you have to explain to kids why school is the way it is, and we can't go back to school. If we do, we're living in a roller coaster, ladies and gentlemen. That is the soapbox portion of the program. The time is 1:47. Nick Davis is here with us from Sidekick. And when we talk about the size of Richmond, you walk into the studio, Savannah's here, and it's Old Home Week. Explain that to us.
So I worked for a small retail shop in Virginia Beach, and they offered me an opportunity to become a manager. And at that point in my life, I didn't really have a lot in the real positive bucket. And so I just looked at it as an opportunity to hit restart. And so I was managing the store. Savannah came in, applied. I thought she was a really talented individual, that she showed care when she talked to people. And so she worked for me for a couple of years. And it was awesome.
And you walk in here today, and she says,
"Is that Nick Davis?"
Ladies and gentlemen, I tell people I'm a matchmaker. I do bring people back. So we have a segment called Modern Love, but that's Paula Pardell, and she really is a matchmaker, helping people find love in all the right places. But positive energy, and I always say cool people know other cool people. So we just like to thank you guys for tuning in. Time's 1:48. I got to go away, and we got to pay some bills, and we'll be back shortly.
Hi, Chef Michelle here of Mama Michelle's Cafe, home of the Soul Rolls, located at 10811 Hull Street Road. Give us a call at 804-912-1644 or order online at mamachells.com. Ask about our off-site catering options as well as our online ordering through Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. Follow us on all social media at Mama Michelle's Cafe. That's Mama Michelle's, Soul south of the James. Mention Mike on the mic and get a free dessert on us. Special rules apply.
Before and after the salon has been active in the Richmond, Virginia community, providing hairstyling services for over 10 years. Before and After is located in downtown Richmond at 1917 West Carey Street. Specializing in weaves, extensions, and growing healthy hair, Before and After provides a full suite of hair care services. Expert stylists Michelle Smith and Alicia Clark are well trained to meet your styling needs at Before and After the Salon.
Do you want a crystal clear picture of your finances? Dial 804-601-0532 and schedule your free financial review with Crystal Clear Financial Solutions. Find us online at crystalclearfinancialsolutions.com.
Are you experiencing difficulties with paying your mortgage or bringing your mortgage current? If so, we can help. Give Neighborhood Home and Assistance a call at 1-800-441-6872 or text 757-951-3048 for the immediate response. We have over 10 years of mortgage experience working with some of the largest mortgage corporations in America. For more information, visit neighborhoodhomeassistance.com to schedule your free over-the-phone consultation. Remember, time is one thing we can't get back, and your home is your investment. Act fast.
Oh, hello. I'm Louise Keaton from the Whistle Stop Theater Company. You're listening to On the Mic with Mike. Every day at 1 p.m. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. It is Premier Daily business show in the Richmond area. We are the best of the best. Here we give you the business stuff, but we also give you everything in between. Today we had Savannah Ball, still the studio rocking with us. We have Nick Davis, a Sidekickrva. Oh, tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow's going to be different. So the station is WJFN Radio. We are going to have the man in the house here, John Fredericks. Super conservative. He gets as much as all the Trump that you want, he'll give it to you because he is the man. He is going to be here tomorrow talking about why you are listening to me on WJFN Radio and all of the shenanigans that we're doing and hearing all of this crazy talk. So for all of our conservative friends out there, tomorrow John Fredericks is going to talk about why I'm here, talking to you about all the things that I do, and he's going to be answering questions. But it's a business show. And ultimately, it's going to talk about it's the business of being in radio. But tomorrow, tune in 1 o'clock tomorrow. John Fredericks is going to be here. He is the voice that truly believes in President number 45, and he's going to tell us all about that. And I'm going to tell you why I'm here, and hopefully you guys can get an understanding. But today, we're still talking to Nick Davis. So Nick. After I got that out of the system, I always ask people when they come here, tell us what gives you hope that's out there. You're a guy who ran into a problem like everyone else, and you found a way to help. What gives you hope?
It's a really good question.
Well, we don't. It's not. This isn't fluff radio here.
Yeah.
We bring the hard questions.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right. So I come from not the best upbringing. And a lot of my personal development happened after 18, after I moved out. I didn't have a lot of friends growing up as a kid, so I was really, really socially awkward. Probably took me till I was about 24 to kind of work out a lot of those kinks. But I did that because I always was able to find people that cared enough, that saw something in me, that they gave me their time. They'd grab coffee. They'd check in. They'd mentor me. And when I initially had the idea, I mentioned that when I had the idea that people could use resume review, it wasn't because I've had a wonderful resume. It's because my resumes were always terrible. And so I was just like, if anyone's resume looked like mine, I'd be at the bottom of the pile for a job opportunity. And so I guess what gives me hope is that I've been given so many opportunities just from people mentoring me. Because of the things I learned in those relationships.
But the same thing that we talked about with Savannah earlier is about hustle.
Yeah.
And hustling and making
you do got to
things
work
happen.
hard.
You didn't know the business of photography when I saw the video clip.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how you go from where you were to being a photographer,
yeah.
to getting to the point doing headshots and helping people to coming up with Sidekickrva.
So 7 years ago, I decided to start a photography business because I had been working retail or food service or retail pretty much every job that I'd had. And I was getting to a point in my life where my time was becoming more valuable to me than the store could compensate me for. I hated having to go back to work on Black Friday, back to work the day after Christmas and on New Year's. Like, those were the times that I wanted to be spending with my family, not slinging products. And I was sitting on my couch. I was recovering from knee surgery, so I had a lot of time to just sit and think. And I started thinking, okay, do I go to college or do I try to start this business? I had been very interested in photography. I'd gotten pretty good at photography, but I didn't really know the ins and outs of it very well then, by any means. I still don't today. There's just so much to know to be an expert at it. But I picked up the phone. All right, so I had a conversation with my wife. She said, I think you should try. And I said, okay. So I picked up the phone, called my buddy Nate, who shot my wedding, and I said, Nate, I'm thinking about starting a photography business. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I come through? And he said, when you coming? And I said, I can be there on Monday. So I drove to Ohio from Richmond. I came back with a website, logo, some new information on how to use my camera and pose people and take photos of people, and I just went to town. And I put an ad on Craigslist. I used Thumbtack. I mean, I tried to find customers anywhere. I didn't care. I just wanted to shoot, and I wanted to try to build my business, and I knew that I needed to get at least one so that I could show someone this is what I can do. Someone to pay me to take photos so I can show them what I can do. And I just kind of started going from there.
Already, Nick Davis talking about the progression of his career and the journey. What's new on the horizon for Sidekicks?
I think I only answered one part of your question a second ago.
There you go. The floor is yours.
Sorry. So with that mentality of kind of just asking for help as I found knowledge gaps, I started kind of reaching out to some of my customers, some of my friends that own their own businesses, and so I started learning the business side along the same way I learned the photo side. And then when stuff kind of hit the fan on March 12th and I started to lose all my work, I remembered that feeling of not knowing what I was doing or what I was going to do. And that's when I had the idea for Sidekick, and I used that same network that I helped build my own business to kind of start Sidekick, and then it just kind of grew from there on its own.
So that's the hustle that took you to get to the photography part, the same thing to help with Sidekick, to be able to help people who maybe don't have the vision that you do.
Yeah.
So what's been the response for Sidekick?
We did all this work, and then when we put it out there was like very little interaction with the community. But the first one that came through is probably one of the most impactful messages to me. She said, I haven't had to look at my resume in 31 years, and I have no idea where to start. And it's just like, and that's when it clicked with me that we're probably going to be helping a very different person than I initially thought was going to be needing the help.
Cool. Hey, can you give a shout out to your coaches?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. So Paul, Grant Millsaps, Shannon Siriano, Michael Pirion, Jason St. Peter, Patricia Bradley, Leah. There's a bunch, man.
Sorry about putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you're good. There's like 25 of them, and it's hard to remember first and last names for them all.
Okay, so how can folks get in to get the help that you guys are offering?
Yeah, it's 100% free. So all you got to do is go to sidekickrva.com, click on the bios. You can learn about each one of these people, the experiences they've had. They're a very impressive bunch of people. I'm very proud to have had the idea and also bewildered at the same time that it worked. But so click on the bios, learn about the coaches, and find one that you connect with, find one that you vibe with, and reach out, because these people want to help. They want to give their services.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Davis of Sidekick RVA. Like I said, when we see things, they pop up. I'm like, wow, that's a movement. And just like to thank you for being, I say the game changers come here, what you're doing, the passion and energy. Today's been a great show. We had Savannah Ball, who's here with us still. And it's funny, like I said, Old Home Week, she runs into Nick, and it's like, hey, is that Nick Davis? Only on the mic with Mike. I'd like to thank you for tuning in, folks. You are the best. Give us a call and stay engaged with us. On the mic with Mike, WJFN Radio, 100.5, 92.7, 820 AM. We almost made it through the week. Tomorrow's Friday. You know what that means. Modern Love with Paula Pardell. Lord knows what she's going to be talking about. Last week we had dating after divorce, and got interesting. So tomorrow Paula Pardell will be here. Like I said, we'll have John Fredericks in the house defending conservatism and defending also why Mike King is on the radio talking all this blasphemous stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Jenny Kirby too as well. Shout out to all the caregivers. And shout out to my wife, baby. As soon as this is over, I'm on the way home. We're out here trying to beat the Rona.
This is WJFN Houston, WJFN Chester, 100.5 FM, 92.7 FM, and AM 820.
Breaking news this hour from